We have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man will go nuts if he can't shoot. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
sense.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
In my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations. America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get mad. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans, and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating free? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got...
This is the sound of famous fun.
All right, hello everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur TV show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your daily vitamin. So let's get ready to get back into it. Everyone, please hit that like button, get the likes up. Thank you in advance. Remember, it doesn't cost you a single thing. Okay, so let's get it started off by talking about that school shooter from yesterday. Okay, but before we do, let's see who is all in here. And by the way, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. And if you don't like what the queen is cooking, you already know what to do. You should be asking yourself, why are you here? Hello, Nessie X, Pearly, Deronda, Edward is in the house, Nikki's World, Laverne. All right, the Prince of Paraphernalia. Okay, says, please get those likes up. I know that's right, beloved. Okay, Perplex, Pearly Battle. All right, Buckhorse DC, Nessa G is in the house, Claudette, Sophie B. So let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please, like and share. So let's talk about that shooting that occurred yesterday that was so tragic. Okay, it's so very sad and unfortunate. And again, let's take a look at the, hold on just a second. Again, let's take a look at the victims. And so I told you all on yesterday that, in fact, the father needed to be arrested. Okay, because when they spoke to him and his son in May of 2023, he sat up there and lied and said the boy didn't have access to any of those guns that he had. Okay, and he let his son sit there and lie and say that he didn't post those messages. But I'm quite sure his father knew that his son posted them. Even if he didn't know previously, he knew by the time that the police and the FBI sat down and spoke with him. I'm quite sure. All right, because he knows his son, as we all know our kids. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm going to pull up this video real quick. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Here we go. And again, condolences to the families of the victims, and for also speedy prayers for a speedy recovery for all of those who were injured. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this video and press conference.
Tonight with breaking information about a second arrest in connection to that deadly school shooting in Georgia. 54-year-old Colin Gray, the suspected school shooter's father, has now been charged with 14 counts, including second-degree murder and manslaughter. And there are still a lot of questions swirling over whether that shooting could have been prevented after the FBI has revealed that the 14-year-old suspected shooter first came onto their radar last year for making threats online. We go now to Georgia, where a press conference from the Georgia Bureau of Investigation is about to start. Turning now to what officials are saying.
The shooting here at Appalachian High School. Colin is Colt Gray's father that was arrested yesterday. He is charged with the following: 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, 2 counts of second-degree murder, and 8 counts of cruelty to children. Mr. Gray, these charges stem from Mr. Gray knowingly allowing his son, Colt, to possess a weapon. This is a very difficult time, as we know, for students and parents. And so many, I know, of students and parents here in this county and around this state are afraid. You all have likely seen reports of incidents of other students making threats today at various schools around our state. In each of these incidents, police, law enforcement took charges, they made arrests, acted very swiftly, as we take incidents like this very seriously across this state. This is a time for all of us as a community and a state to come together and remain vigilant. Students must be supported and encouraged here in this community and across the state to contact a member of their school faculty with any and all concerns of suspicious activity that they may see. Local, state, and federal law enforcement will continue to work together around the clock in relation to this incident here and any other incidents that come up around this state that raise concern to the safety of our students, faculty, and citizens here in the state of Georgia. Additionally, Colt Gray, that was arrested yesterday for this incident, has now been charged with 4 counts of felony murder. And again, we will continue to work tirelessly to complete this investigation as we move forward. I will go ahead and mention to you, and as I say sometimes, I'm going to go ahead and apologize to you. As y'all all know, that this is a murder investigation. It is a very serious investigation, one that we take serious, one that we will continue to diligently work on and be very thorough with it, with the GBI and our local partners here. So you'll have to forgive us if we don't answer a lot of the questions that you ask. I know you have many, and we wish we could answer many of them for you, but we still obviously want to maintain the integrity of this investigation because it has a long way to go for it to be finished. Again, I also want to remind everyone that we need to continue to pray and support the victims that were involved here, the school teachers, the faculty, the students, obviously those that lost their lives, their families, and those that were injured. So I'd like to call on the sheriff to come and give you a brief update on the status of those that were injured from yesterday's event. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Hosey. As Director Hosey said, I'd like to say that obviously we're lifting up those families. Our hearts are hurting for them, our kids, our students, our teachers. But the 9 injured, I am very happy to say will make a full recovery. And that's a testament to the response that we had, in my opinion, the response that medical staff responded with, in my opinion. And we're very happy to say that they will make a full recovery after that response. Again, please lift up our community. Please keep these children, these teachers. We call them teachers, but I call them heroes. We met with them today. Emotions are very high, obviously, but we told them that we love them. We love our teachers and what they do. And we're very happy at the fact that they stood in the gap between evil to protect their children. And we want to include them in the lives that were saved as well yesterday. But I wanted to report to you that all 9 people that are injured will expect to make a full recovery. Thank you.
Now to new concerns over measles as Oregon reports the largest in-state outbreak in.
Okay. Now I want you all to pay attention. At the end of the day, that's a very sad, tragic event. But let's talk about the shooter and his father. Now, his father is charged as he should have been, and he knew that his son had weapons. Why would you let a child have weapons when they already, and he's not a child, I'm sorry, he's 14 years old. Let's call him an adult because that's what he's being tried as. And when it's someone who looks like me, a teenager who's 14, they're often called adults, okay? That's what they do. So with that all been said, when he knew that they just spoken to his son about threats he made online just last year, why would he have him anywhere near a gun? Like, this is all the father's negligence and foolishness, and he's going to jail where he belongs, okay? Hopefully to prison. Now, so let's talk about this, because now they're saying that this little thug comes from a troubled family. Well, too bad and so sad. Don't many of us come from troubled families? I want you all to pay attention, because what they do when they say things like this in the headlines is they try to make us or have us unwittingly have empathy and sympathy for these little thugs. But no, I have none. All right? So with that all being said, Colin Gray, the father of teen shooting suspect Colt Gray, is charged with second-degree murder in relation to the deaths of 2 students at Appalachia High School. Okay, the Barrow County District says this. This is what the Barrow County District Attorney said on Friday. Now, the students, Christian Angulo and Mason Schermerhorn, were killed Wednesday along with 2 teachers, Richard Aspinwall and Christine Irami. Now, according to Colin Grant's arrest warrant affidavit, the 54-year-old father allegedly gave his son a firearm, gave it to him. Okay, The boy didn't go sneak and get it, didn't find it on the closet shelf and sneak and find the box or the key to the box and unlock it. No, his father literally gave it to him. Who does that? That is beyond irresponsible, okay, and clearly nefarious. Why would you give him a weapon when you know what he did last year? You know what he made threats about doing. But hey, some people just don't have common sense or clearly just don't give a darn as far as I'm concerned. The father's just as dangerous as the son. So goes on to say that he allegedly gave his son a firearm with knowledge that he was a threat to himself and others. Now, when asked why the father faces 2 counts of second-degree murder after 4 people were killed, Smith said the murder counts don't apply to the adult victims. Second degree murder is different in Georgia than in other states. It's a raw new charge, and it is specifically geared towards cruelty to children in the second degree. Okay, if you commit cruelty to children in the second degree that causes death, that is second degree murder. Now, in addition to the 2 counts of second degree murder, Colin Gray also faces 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter and 8 counts of cruelty to children. Earlier Friday, a judge said Colin Gray could face up to 180 years in prison if convicted on all counts. Well, I hope he gets every day of them. I'm sorry, when you're irresponsible, negligent, and just plain stupid and put the weapon in the hands of somebody who's already made threats and then ends up following out with those threats, following through with them, well, you get what you get. I have no sympathy nor empathy, okay? Nor should I, and nor should you. Now, teen shooting suspect will face more charges, according to the district attorney. Now, Colt Gray, the 14-year-old charged with 4 counts of felony murder after Wednesday's mass shooting at Appalachian High School, will face additional charges. Okay, this is what Attorney Brad Smith said. 4 people were killed and at least 9 were hospitalized after the school shooting in Winder. Everyone, please don't forget to like and share, beloveds. Now, Smith said the upcoming charges will be filed after investigators speak with the injured victims, saying there will be additional charges on Colt Gray. When he was taken into custody on Wednesday, we did not have the identities or the conditions of the other victims, so we were not able to charge on those offenses, according to the district attorney. Okay, saying that when evidence comes in and they've had a chance to heal physically, emotionally, and spiritually, we will get them. Okay, we will get with them, and there will be additional charges that address the other victims. And just thank God that those victims are going to survive their injuries. Now, the aunt of the shooting suspect tells CNN it never should have happened. Well, of course it shouldn't have. All right. It goes on to say Annie Brown said that Gray's father, Colin Gray, would have been there supporting her son if he was not facing charges himself. He appeared in court Friday for a brief hearing after his son and right after his son, and is charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder. Okay, we already know his charges. Now, Colt Gray faces felony murder after the shooting, which killed 2 students and 2 teachers. And then I want y'all to listen to this, okay, because this is what his aunt said, Annie Brown. He's just a baby. It never should have happened. Ladies, sit your arse down, okay? Talking about he's just a baby. I want y'all to pay attention, because this is what they do. Try to minimize what they did and blame it on their youth. But at the end of the day, they don't give people who look like me the same, benefit of the doubt. She sounds real crazy. So he's just supposed to not have any accountability. We're supposed to view him as a baby, as if he's infantile. No, it's not going to happen. Okay, he knew exactly what he was doing. And the fact that he was reprimanded about it last year and sat down and had talked to the police and the FBI, well, and then still proceeded to do it the next year, that says that he premeditated this. He should, in fact, be charged with first-degree murder, okay, with the death sentence on the table. And for those of you who think, well, he's only 14, well, guess what? Okay, guess what? So was George Stinney, 14 years old, when they set him on top of a Bible because he was too small to fit in the electric chair, and they electrocuted him until he was dead for crimes that later proved to be false. He didn't even do it. And 70 years later, all right, then they want to try to clear his name. Damage was already done, clearly. Okay, so I don't feel sympathy for Colin Gray. That's all I'm saying. Now, Colin Gray, the father, or for Colt Gray, I'm sorry, that's the killer. Now, Colin Gray, the father of the 14-year-old Georgia school shooting suspect, Colt Gray, appeared in court on Friday and learned that he could spend the rest of his life behind bars if he's convicted. Well, and here's a breakdown of what he could get for each of those charges. So Judge Curry Mendeldorf said the father would face the following maximum penalties if convicted: up to 30 years in prison for each count of second-degree felony murder, up to 10 years in prison for each count of involuntary manslaughter, up to 10 years in prison for each count of cruelty to children. Okay, the judge said if Colin Gray is convicted on all counts, he could face a maximum of 180 years. Now, that's where they arrived at that number. Meanwhile, the mother of Colt Gray, Marcy Gray, okay, she had warrants issued for her arrest for offenses committed in November of 2023, including felony possession of controlled substances and using a false license plate. Now, the arrest warrant affidavit showed that Marcy Gray committed all 6 alleged offenses to warrant her arrest on November the 6th of 2023. Gray is accused of using a glass pipe for narcotics, possessing hydrochloride, fentanyl, and meth, and concealing the identity of a vehicle. This is all nefarious. Now, the offenses listed are as follows: felony Schedule 2, controlled substance, possession of; misdemeanor, use of license plate for purpose of concealing or misrepresenting identity of vehicle, use of expire; misdemeanor, drugs in original container; felony Schedule 2 of a controlled substance, possession; okay, misdemeanor, possession of a dangerous drug; misdemeanor, drug-related objects. Okay, so she has a whole lot of issues going on here. Now, the judge says accused school shooter is not eligible for the death penalty. Okay, said that he's not eligible for the death penalty. Says that he could face a maximum sentence of life in prison with or without the possibility of parole. Now, the judge had earlier listed death as a possible sentence for Gray's felony murder charges. Okay, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in 2005 that juveniles cannot be sentenced to death for crimes that were committed before the age of 18. Okay, now Gray is still being tried as an adult under Georgia law. Middledorf said that the court has set December the 4th at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for his preliminary hearing, and it is subject to change. Okay, so yeah, like I told you guys, they're trying to act like he has a troubled family, troubled home life, and are we supposed to feel sorry? Okay, and here's his mother. All right, I mean, at the end of the day, his mother's on drugs. His father's just a fool, clearly. But at the end of the day, that's no excuse for me. Think about how many Black people had parents that were on crack that was put in our neighborhoods allegedly by the CIA. Okay. I'm sorry, make it all make sense. Make it all make sense, beloveds. Alice Child said a family had problems. If the family had problems, why did they believe them the year earlier about the child? That's a very good question. Okay, that is absolutely a good question. They have no answers, I'm sure. So like everyone, please like and share. Now let's talk about this BS going on down here in these prisons. Okay, because this makes no sense, absolutely none whatsoever. First of all, this story, I reported this to you all on last year, but just to bring it back to the forefront of your memory, this happened in an Alabama prison. If you remember, 22-year-old Daniel Williams, who was a father, and he was given like a 12-month prison sentence, if you remember. And then the next thing you know, he turns up dead. He had bruises and cuts and abrasions all over his body, even between his legs. Okay, I'm not going to play this video because I just realized it has music on it, but I'm going to tell you the story because I told you this last year. Like I said, he had bruises everywhere all over him, cuts, bruises, abrasions, and even bruising between his legs. And then when he died from all these injuries, okay, his family was not notified right away. And then when they were, well, they tried to act like it was something to do with a drug overdose, when the fact of the matter is he was actually pimped out by another inmate. Okay, he was raped numerous of times while he was in prison, beaten, tortured. And this went on and on and on for no telling how long. This is somebody who was going to be out in just a few months. Okay, at the end of the day. And that happened in Alabama. All right, so please pay attention. Now, this whole thing about the work release program where they allow them, to go and work at McDonald's and these fast food restaurants. It's all nefarious. And so much so that they actually filed a federal lawsuit about it like a year ago. So let's talk about that lawsuit. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Federal lawsuit accuses Alabama. Hold on. Okay. Here's what they say. Federal suit accuses Alabama of modern day slavery for inmate labor. But I want you to pay attention because on the last broadcast, I just showed you how Kabami, she's sitting up there and acting like she has such a, so much empathy and sympathy for the people working at McDonald's, because they're not paid a lot and they just have all these problems and this, that, and the third. But she didn't bother to mention those prisoners who also work at McDonald's, okay, for basically free. So let's talk about it. I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. This is just a darn shame. This is nothing but slavery. Okay, slavery didn't end. They just revamped it and called it something different, and so we wouldn't be the wiser. Please pay attention.
Tonight, a newly filed lawsuit in federal court accuses the state of Alabama of denying parole to incarcerated people in order to use those inmates for free labor. According to the plaintiffs, it amounts to, quote, modern day slavery. In the 126-page filing, the plaintiffs named several state agencies, but also some city governments, including Montgomery and Troy. The lawsuit claims the state, and by extension, cities and even private businesses, stand to gain financially from the labor of ADOC inmates. The plaintiffs say the 2023 alone, Alabama will use its inmate population to obtain an economic benefit of $450 million.
Since 2018, they have grown this forced labor system by replacing evidence-based parole decision-making with a highly discriminatory parole system that favors white people over Black people for release at a rate of 2 to 1. The suit we filed alleges this forced labor scheme violates the U.S. Constitution, the Alabama Constitution, and a host of federal laws.
Now, we've reached out to the state's parole board, the ADOC, and the governor's office for comment on the lawsuit. So far, we've received no comment.
So I want you all to pay attention to that. So they're making them stay in prison for free labor, okay? This is what they're doing. But guess what? If you thought that was bad, that they're making these prisoners do all this work for free, it gets even worse, okay? So listen to this report. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. They're even harvesting these prisoners' organs, apparently, because where are their organs? Well, they're missing.
Bounty Mega Roll lasts longer, so you can tackle
applesauce and avocado, berries, butter, coffee cream, drippy fingers, deviled eggs, and empanadas.
Kennedy, something was wrong with the body of her brother-in-law, who died while imprisoned.
They said, did y'all realize he came back without his organs? And I'm like, what do you mean? He came back without his organs.
The funeral director told Sarah everything was missing inside Jim Kennedy Jr.'s body. Everything but his eyes.
Liver, heart, all of your major organs, they were gone.
She says those organs were taken without the knowledge or permission of Marvin Kennedy, Kennedy Jr.'s brother and legal representative.
But yet they made the decisions for you or represented you without your permission.
Sarah repeatedly tried to contact the prison and the University of Alabama at Birmingham, which is among the providers that conducts autopsies for the prison system.
I had a lot of questions. But no answers.
Eventually, she says she spoke over the phone with someone who identified himself as an autopsy department supervisor for the university, and she secretly recorded that conversation.
We've never had this request done before.
To have the organs back?
Yeah.
Well, who buries somebody without their organs?
Well, we do it all the time because
We don't want to do it for our religious preference. We don't want to do that.
Now, I will tell you this, is that UAB is a teaching institution, and any teaching institution that does autopsies keeps their organs.
Well, we did not, and Junior did not want that. We have not agreed with the prison for his body to be turned over for no study, and we want those organs back.
5 months after Kennedy Jr.'s death, Billy Stapler made his own alarming discovery.
It's just insane. It's like a horror movie that I can't wake up from.
The private pathologist he hired to perform an autopsy on his father, Arthur Stapler, was unable to perform it.
She said he had an empty cavity. There was nothing there.
Stapler says he held the power of attorney for his father and never authorized the removal or retention of the organs.
I just want him to be whole again.
Stapler says he spoke with the same UAB supervisor. Eventually, his private pathologist received what was said to be his father's brain and heart back. But some organs, like his lungs, came back in pieces. The rest were gone.
And I'm asking, where's the rest of his organs? And he tells me that they possibly got thrown away. And I'm like, how do you throw away organs? Why did you even take them out of him?
Funeral experts tell CNN after an autopsy, organs are normally put in a bag and placed back inside the body. But that's not what happened in the case of these 7 inmates. The families of 5 of them now suing the Alabama Department of Corrections and UAB. The university conducted the autopsies for all the inmates but one, says attorney to the families, Lauren Ferrano. She tells CNN the families insist none of them were organ donors. So how in the world did this all happen without family consent? The Alabama Department of Corrections tells CNN it does not comment on pending litigation, nor does it authorize or perform autopsies. But UAB tells CNN ADOC does approve them and says it's ADOC's responsibility to get family approval. What do you think is your most damning piece of evidence?
The contract between the Department of Corrections and UAB is just about all the evidence we need to show that illegal activity is happening. That contract shows these parties empowering a warden to make a decision about taking out organs and keeping them from loved ones. The law directly contradicts that position. The law says very clearly a warden does not have that right.
CNN reached out to the Alabama legislature for clarity. A legislative attorney saying in a memo, a warden has no legal authority to approve an autopsy, and their agreement may be illegal. And just what happened to those organs? UAB told CNN in a statement, in some cases, their pathologists keep organs for further testing to come to an accurate cause of death. Ferrano claims the organs serve another purpose at the school.
Right now, we have concrete evidence that the students are using some of these organs for training in medical school.
A group of 13 UAB medical students questioned the ethics of the school's retention of some inmate organs without consent as far back as 2018. They wrote this letter to school administrators, saying in part, "Our concern is not with the practice of autopsy, but with the process of consent for the retention and use of tissue samples." 2 of those former medical students tell CNN their instructors acknowledged that many of their teaching samples came from inmates because inmates tend to have more developed disease, easier to see and learn from. The students agreed to speak on the condition of anonymity, fearing career repercussions, one saying, "It's plainly and obviously wrong. There is no understanding of medical ethics in which this is permissible." UAB accused the student whistleblowers of inaccuracies in a statement to CNN, something the students deny. Despite the accounts from former students, the university tells CNN it does not use inmate organs to teach medical students. So we went back to them and asked, "Have you ever?" showing them their own report from 2018 that states they do. But UAB refused to answer. For the families, left frustrated and without answers, nothing short of accountability and policy changes can make them whole.
What made it right for them to just go ahead and just give away a person to somebody else and say, "Here, you can play with this person's body like that"?
The attorney to the families, Lauren Ferrano, tells me at least 2 more lawsuits are being prepared. And Abby, back in 2021, an Alabama law was passed that requires medical examiners to notify next of kin if they will retain someone's organs to determine identification or the cause or manner of death. It also requires next of kin approval to keep organs for, quote, research or other purposes. Ferrano will be leaning heavily on that law in court. Abby?
Okay, now that's a darn shame. Do you all hear this? I'm telling you, it's worse than we thought. Okay? It's worse than we thought. But this is what these devils do at the end of the day. And then here's another bad thing about it. When they remove these organs, then the people have no way of knowing how their relatives died. Okay? POP says they sold them. Yeah, in some cases, I'm absolutely sure that's what they're doing. Okay, that's absolutely what they're doing. They're fattening their own pockets. How can you tell if someone in the prison murdered your family member? You could just tell us anything. Oh, they had a drug overdose. Oh, this and that third happened. At the end of the day, this is all real crazy. But let me continue. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. On to the next video. Yes, it is outrageous, beloved. It absolutely is. Okay. It's beyond outrageous, Claudette.
So in Alabama, apparently prisoners who have been said to unalive themselves are being returned to their family missing internal organs. And the response from the Alabama prison system is like coming from the warden, and he's just telling the families, y'all need to get a lawyer. Not giving them any information, just, you know, here's your loved one. Yeah, they're missing their gallbladder and, you know, other organs, but, you know, get a lawyer if you want to find out what happened to their internal organs. Anyways, that's happening. Okay, bye.
And then they said in one case that they threw the organs away. Oh, I don't know what happened to them. They probably got thrown away. Why would you remove the organs only to throw them away? Of course they didn't get thrown away. They know exactly what happened to them. Okay, this is all so darn crazy. Like, this is really beyond nefarious. Okay, I'm going to share my screen to show this next video where someone's complaining about the same thing. Please like and share. Thank you in advance.
This is something out of a horror movie. It has been uncovered that at least 8 inmates in the Alabama prison system were found with their organs surgically removed after an inmate who had 1 year left died, and it took 2 months for them to alert the sister. And when she found out, she got the body. It was so badly beaten and decomposed that she was like, what the fuck happened? The warden said, oh, he had a fentanyl overdose. She said, wait, but he's got broken bones. He's got all fucked up. There's no way. He got the shit beat out of him. And he's not even a drug user. The warden said, hey, shit happens. They released the body. And she's like, why is it so decomposed? You know, he really just couldn't say shit, just kind of skipped over the question. So, of course, like any family member, she goes to a private, you know, place to get an autopsy. And the medical examiner says, listen, he was beaten. He did overdose on fentanyl, but what happened to his heart? She goes, what? Was he an organ donor or something? No, not at all. Oh, somebody surgically removed his heart. She immediately starts to investigate and starts talking to the warden. He says, nah, we released all the bodies to this place over here. It's a private school facility that takes organs from people dead or alive. And when they asked the school, the facility, they denied anything. The warden denied anything. He just said he sent them there to get examined. Now, the law is this. Anytime there is a suspicious death in Department of Corrections, they are to go to the state medical examiner, not a private facility, anything like that. So that's when people started realizing, wait, I had a family member that was so badly decomposed, and they said he died from a fentanyl overdose. And they started finding inmates that had no brains, no hearts, no lungs, no kidneys. So what was found out is that these sick, demonic, crooked piece of shits were getting certain inmates, beating the shit out of them, probably had the warden talk to a captain who talked to his little foot soldiers, his little minions, beat the shit out these inmates, shot them up with dope, somehow got them on the operating table. Now, they don't know if they took the organs while they were alive or dead, but at this point, it was obviously for money because they're greedy and sadistic motherfuckers. It wouldn't surprise me if they were alive when they did it. And then after they shoot them up with more dope and they die, they put them in the hot Alabama sun and they let them decompose to cover up all the scars from where they performed the surgery. They even had a 75-year-old man who was about to go home in 3 years, who died of natural causes, found without his brain, his kidneys, his liver, his heart, everything. And the law is in the Department of Corrections, if someone dies of a natural cause, they don't go for further examination. They get released to the family and that's that. But they put him in for a further examination by the private facility. The only time you do more of an investigation is if it's a suspicious death, you know, a murder, a drug overdose, you know, homicide, suicide, whatever it might be. And that's when things really kicked off. People were coming out of all different states saying that happened to my family member, this family member. And it is so fucking crazy to think you can go to prison, you survive the gangs, the fucking politics, the murders, the crooked CEOs, everything that goes on that side, and they kill you for your organs. And when it's found out and proven, the facility, the private school facility, they deny it. The warden just kind of says, oh, no, I don't know anything about that. And nothing happens. Imagine if you kill somebody, shot them up with drugs, beat them up, then shot them up with more drugs after taking their organs and selling them, and you got caught red-handed, and you just said, I don't know. Man, you'd be in prison for the rest of your life. That's why it's so dangerous in prison. It's so fucking treacherous. They get away with anything they want. Some people who've never been on the inside think that I might be exaggerating, but this is reality. This is what I live with. This is what I grew up with. I mean, it's to the point where they are killing inmates, taking their organs and getting away with it. And I don't give a fuck. We don't give a shit. What are you going to do about it? He overdosed. We don't know nothing about the surgically removed heart, brain, kidneys, liver. Imagine that. Imagine going to prison. You got 3 years to do, right, for some dumb shit, some nonviolent drug shit. An officer comes in your cell, beats the shit out of you, shoots you up with some fentanyl, then you kind of like wake up in an operating table and get shot up with more dope, die, take all your organs. That's what happens when you fuck up and give cowards and sadistic motherfuckers rule over your life. There is no consequences. There is no penalty. There's only money and cover-ups. And if they can get away with that in this day and age, imagine how long this has been going on. And who knows if they were alive or dead. I had a friend named Trent, solid dude, used to work out with him on the yard all the time. He had a heat stroke on the yard. We're in Florida, you know, nothing major, didn't use drugs or anything like that. And after reading and studying this whole situation, I think they took this man's organs. He drops down. He's obviously having a heat stroke, healthy dude, works out. He's got water, whatever. It's hot out there in the middle of summer. A CO runs out to check on him. Everybody hears on the walkie-talkie because they have us all kind of like down, and they say, don't touch him. You'll be responsible. The officer runs away from my dying friend on the yard. 20 minutes later, another officer comes out and uses like the defibrillator thing or whatever it is to try to bring him back, and nothing's working. She leaves. 10 more minutes go by. A nurse comes leisurely walking, picks him up with the COs, puts him in a wheelchair, folds him over, and they walk him out. And the thing is, his family didn't have much money, so it took a little time for them to get everything situated and get his body released. You know, I don't know the whole story behind that, but I know it took a little bit of time for them to figure it out. And during, you know, the whole time after, everyone was talking about it. You know, people made like a little like remembrance for him where he died on the yard. The CEO spread a rumor saying, oh, he overdosed on K2. Everyone's like, no way. The man was about to go home soon, about to get married, never use drugs. Like, I can vouch for that. They do whatever they want inside. That's it. You know, there's nowhere you can hide. There's nowhere you can run. When you're inside, only the strong survive. You're either a warrior or a victim. If it's not the inmates, the gangs, the politics, the extortions, the murders that get you, it's the CEOs that are going to get you. This is next level. Don't be surprised if thousands and thousands of people find out that their loved ones were put out in the sun after having their body parts surgically removed. Stay out, stay free, us. Oh, based on what just happened to the piece of shit.
Okay, I want you all to pay attention. This is also nefarious. And they're getting away with this. Okay, so again, how is prison any different than slavery? Okay, can you imagine them just going to there beating the crap out of somebody only so they can inject them with fentanyl and then take their life so they can have their organs for sale? This is absolutely crazy. But I just wonder, why aren't any of the candidates talking about this? Because you do know they know, right? I bet you Kabami and her husband, Doug Emhoff, are both investors in private prisons. Now, I can't substantiate that, and this is just speculation, but I wouldn't be surprised, because why was she so dead set on leaving people in prison to linger so that they can continue to be slave labor? Mr. Elevation says, once again, it's a situation where the prison know most families can't fight the system. Exactly. These families can't, very often they don't have money to file charges or file for an attorney to file lawsuits or any of that. Okay, Laverne said it's all around death. James says organ harvest is real. It absolutely is. I want you all to pay attention. All right. Let's not forget the movie Get Out. I told you all years ago that wasn't just a movie. It was a documentary. All right. Please pay attention. This is all so crazy. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Now, let's talk about this pillowcase rapist. Okay, he will grape again, they say. Pillowcase rapist who admitted to assaulting 100 women is set to be released again after violating conditions the first time. Why is he getting out ever? How do you admit to raping 100 people, but you're getting out? This is all sick and very twisted, as I might add. Okay? That's him right there. Please pay attention. So let's talk about it. Likes up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. Now, his name is Christopher Hubart. All right. So a man known as the pillowcase rapist who admitted to assaulting 100 women going back for decades is about to be released from California State Hospital to an address in Los Angeles County for the second time after he violated the conditions of his first release. Okay. That was nearly a decade ago. So a court hearing is set for October the 1st to determine whether Christopher Hubart, Hubart, age 73, will be released, according to the district attorney's office. Now, the Department of State hospitals have recommended placement at an address in the Antelope Valley in the desert, about 80 miles north of downtown LA. Now, Hubart has been granted conditional release. Okay, and this was done March of 2023. This was against the prosecutor's objections. Okay, according to the DA's office, they say continuing to release sexually violent predators into underserved communities like the Antelope Valley is both irresponsible and unjust. Now, I want you to pay attention to who or to where they say that he's being released. Underserved communities. I'm sorry, what? And then this could be somebody right next door to you is all I'm saying. Now, they say this continues to happen. And predators with an S, not just him, there's others that have gotten the same treatment. Okay? And that's what Los Angeles County District Attorney George Gascon said. Repeatedly placing these individuals in the same community shows a blatant disregard for the safety and well-being of our residents. Our deputy district attorneys will persist in opposing Mr. Hubart's placement in the Antelope Valley. Now, we must demand more from our judicial system, ensuring decisions serve the best interest of our communities while exploring alternative locations for these placements. Now, Hubart was convicted in 1972 of raping 14 women. He got his nickname because he used pillowcases to muffle the screams of the victims. Now, the day he was released on parole back in 1983, he raped a woman on the day that he was released, mind you. Then raped 9 more women in San Jose in that area that year before he was caught and returned back to prison, where he never should have left. Okay. Then LA County Sheriff The then LA County Sheriff John Scott wrote in a letter to Santa Clara County Superior Court judge urging against releasing Hubart in LA in 2014. Now, Hubart was again arrested in 1990. He was rearrested after he took a woman hostage. Okay, at her kidnapping, according to the sheriff. Now, Hubart admitted to raping more than 100 women throughout California between the years of 1971 through 1983, including 26 in LA County. This is also nefarious. Very few American criminals create the public fear that Christopher Hubart generates, they say. I cannot overstate my objection to his placement in the greater Lancaster community. He is the most prolific and violent rapist that I have ever encountered in 40 years of California law enforcement. He has been declared a mentally disordered and extremely dangerous violent SEX offender, and his presence in the Lancaster community will strike fear in nearly all of the residents. People better strap up, be ready to protect and defend themselves, their homes, and their children. Okay, please pay attention. Now, 2 years after his first release in LA County, Hubart was sent back to the Department of State Hospitals for violating the terms of his release. He failed 5 lie detector tests about his thoughts and fantasies. Still sick-minded, clearly. But in 2021, the Department of State Hospitals recommended that he was suitable to be conditionally released, which cleared the path for his pending release next month. It's not clear why the decision was made. They say a media representative for the state hospitals declined to comment, citing federal and state patient privacy laws. Oh, really? Now, city leaders in Palmdale, near where Hubart is set to be released, strongly objected to the news about his possible placement at 28800 Carruthers Creek Road in Pier Blossom, which is 15 miles east of Palmdale. Okay, or Pear Blossom. Now, Palmdale Mayor Austin Bishop acknowledged in a statement that while the placement address is outside Palmdale city limits, he said his presence would create a fear for many women in the area, and the decision of Northern California to release him to a legally required LA County location for the second time, mind you, has exasperated community angst. First of all, who's letting him come and stay with them? They must have some issues themselves, is all I could say. Now, they say our greater Antelope Valley community has been through this before with rapist Hubart. The only place this dangerous criminal belongs is in confinement. Both the city and myself personally will be submitting comments objecting to his release and his placement in Pear Blossom. We need to protect our community. Hubart's mere presence will haunt and strike fear in many of these women who live there. Now, one woman who had to live near him before told CBS affiliate KCAL that the news that the serial rapist could live in the community again reminds her of her own trauma. She says, being a rape victim when I was only 14 years old, are you serious? It's very horrifying, she says. We can't have him around here because he will take off again and he will rape again. Ooh, this is a lot. This is absolutely crazy. I just want you all to pay attention. Now, this is what's going down. This is what's going down. Now, people who are deserving to be paroled are being held hostage in prison even after they serve their time just so they can be free prison labor. Meanwhile, people who look like him, they're getting let out. Let's not forget what they said about the ratio of the Black inmates who are denied parole as it pertains to the ones who are not Black. Okay? It's all so sick and disgusting at the end of the day. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Now let's talk about this low-down nefarious barber who just, who beat this 6-year-old child to death. All right. He was babysitting him, or the barber. I don't know if it's a he or she. Yeah, it's a he, Ernest Lamar. Okay. Beat this 6-year-old child to death with a large piece of raw lumber. This is so sad. Do these people even know who's keeping their children when they just allow people to take them in or whatever, or stay with them for a day or so or whatever? I have questions. That's the little boy right there. So here's what happened. A 41-year-old California barber allegedly became so enraged after the 6-year-old child that he was babysitting peed his pants at the park that he tortured and beat that boy to death with a large piece of raw lumber. Ernest Lamar Love is facing murder, torture, and child abuse charges and the death of Chance Crawford in Placentia, about 35 miles southeast of Los Angeles. And this is according to the Orange County District Attorney's Office. Now, Chance's mother dropped him off at Love's barbershop around 6:30 p.m. on August the 29th before her overnight shift as a nurse's assistant at St. Joseph's Hospital. Now, is this man his father, the mother's boyfriend? I just have questions. About 7 hours later, Love reportedly brought a beaten and barely breathing Chance to Children's Hospital of Orange County. Doctors at the hospital discovered that much of Chance's flesh was missing from his buttocks. Oh, my Lord. This is absolutely horrific. Much of his flesh was beaten, leaving raw, gaping wounds along with subdural hematoma, extreme brain swelling, and other injuries consistent with violent striking and violent shaking. According to the prosecutor's release, Chance was in critical condition at the hospital before dying on Tuesday. Oh my God, can you imagine the pain this child was in? 6 years old. What is wrong with people? Video surveillance captured the alleged beating. Now, it showed Love walking into the barbershop carrying a large piece of raw lumber with a reluctant Chance following behind him. Poor child knew what was coming. He knew what was coming. Now, Love is accused of beating the first grader with a piece of lumber. And he just started first grade, mind you. Beating him with a piece of lumber, then pouring hydrogen peroxide on the open wounds before forcing the boy to do push-ups, sit-ups, and jumping jacks. After you beat him to the white meat with raw lumber? Are you serious? After his little brain was swelling, this man made him get down and do push-ups, sit-ups, and jumping jacks? There's a special place in hell for him. He then drove Chance to the hospital emergency room instead of calling 911, and the boy collapsed. Okay, after the boy collapsed, Love faces 32 years to life in prison if convicted. Why isn't he getting the death penalty? He's at the Orange County Jail without bond. Now, Orange County District Attorney Todd Spitzer said in a statement to prosecutors, prosecutors would ensure justice is done for Chance. They say while his new classmates were celebrating the end of the first week of the first grade, Chance's seat in the classroom was empty as he fought for his life in a hospital bed. Oh my goodness, I wish I hadn't even read this. Okay, I saw the title. I did not read this before I got on here. I wish I had, because I darn sure don't want to read it now. Okay, words do not exist to describe the absolute terror this little boy was forced to endure. All at the hands of someone who was supposed to be protecting him, not torturing him to death. Two GoFundMe started by friends and family described Chance as a sweet little boy with a beautiful smile who loved watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and Sesame Street. He was smart, inquisitive, and a great artist. Chance started drawing pictures of his favorite character, Mickey Mouse, and they looked like they came from a Disney movie. That's how good he was. He was a gifted child and had so much life to live. We're devastated by the loss of our beautiful, sweet, kind, bright, and shining star. This pain is horrible, and our family will never recover from this loss. A sweet little boy was taken from us far too soon. Oh, my goodness. This is absolutely deplorable. This is absolutely deplorable. At the end of the day, I mean, who can imagine doing something like this, let alone actually carrying it out? Okay, Lord have mercy. All right, let me see if I can find this thug's picture because they don't have it in this article. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. This is so crazy. Condolences to the family, friends, and loved ones. Can you imagine? Now, I'm sure his students, his little friends, and all that are also going to be traumatized. Beating a 6-year-old until he was bloody raw, gaping wounds, brain swelling, and all of that. This is absolutely egregious. Who was this man to him? That's what I want to know. Let me report. Let me go to the news report. This is so darn sad. Likes up, everyone, please.
What kind of monster are you?
This is killing us slowly.
We're getting heartbreaking new details on the death of this 6-year-old boy. Prosecutors say the babysitter, a Placentia barber, beat the boy to death with a piece of lumber. He's facing charges of murder and torture. Eyewitness News reporter Tim Caputo live now at a park in Cerritos, where the family held a vigil tonight. Tim, this is a tough one to even imagine.
It is awful any way you cut it. As you mentioned, the vigil was held here tonight. They specifically picked this park because that is where that little boy Chance had his 5th birthday party, a Mickey Mouse themed party. Obviously, much different circumstances here this evening. You see behind me some of the candles still lit and the wax that melted, spelling out, "Chance, we love you." The family tells me that it's been a roller coaster of emotion the last couple days, the last few hours, especially when they learned the disturbing details of that little boy's death. A tearful goodbye to 6-year-old Chance Crawford as a grieving family tries to remember him in happier times.
Oh, sweetest kid, you know, he's a bundle of joy.
But amid the tears, there's anger as Chance's family just found out the cruel and brutal details of his death.
It hit me like a ball of fire, bro, and man, it's just been tragic.
Last Thursday night, Chance's mom went to work an overnight shift at the hospital and dropped off Chance to be babysat by a close friend of hers, someone apparently she met at church. At 1 a.m, that man, 41-year-old Ernest Lamar Love, carried little Chance, who was unconscious and barely breathing, into the ER at Children's Hospital of Orange County, claiming he fell.
It was a little suspicious because there was a lot of police activity.
The Orange County District Attorney's Office says it was far worse. They believe Love tortured and beat that little boy because he wet his pants at the park. Investigators say they have video of Love walking into the barbershop he owned, carrying a large piece of lumber with Chance reluctantly following behind. Once inside, Love allegedly beat him so badly with that large piece of wood, flesh was missing from Chance's butt.
Like, how can someone that's portrayed to be so much of a saint can do this to a innocent young child that's only 6 years old?
It somehow gets worse. The DA's office says after the beating, Love poured hydrogen peroxide on the open wounds and then made the 6-year-old do push-ups, sit-ups, and jumping jacks until he collapsed. Horrifying details the family can't get out of their heads.
Was he running? Was he screaming? You know, things like that.
Chance was in a coma since Friday and was declared brain dead on Tuesday, so the family took him off life support. Love has now been charged with murder and torture, and Chance's father hopes he's convicted and spends decades in prison.
And so it's just not fair. So, yes, I'm hoping that justice is served.
You know, Chance had just started the first grade. This happened after his 3rd day of school. The family that was out here, dozens of them, equally frustrated over the fact that they believe the mom could have called any one of them to watch him that night. Love, by the way, pleaded not guilty to all those charges he's now facing.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great ABC7 content by...
That is a darn shame. And here's the thug who did it right here. This is him right here. That is him right there. I want you to take a good look at him. Okay? Looks like a regular, everyday, average Joe you'd see on the street. He was a church member, supposedly a Christian. This is what he did. This is what he did, dirty dog. I hope he rots in hell. This is all so darn sad. And I wonder why the mother allowed him to keep her child in the first place. Why not the father? Why not some other family member? I'm not blaming her, but I just have questions. Okay, how well do people know the people that they choose to keep their children these days? I just have a whole lot of questions. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Let's continue. Now, meanwhile, this teacher, who's also a mother of a 12-year-old daughter, locked her out of the house, forcing her to sleep on a bench all night, and then lied and told the police she ran away. Isn't that something? Let's put her up on the screen. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. That's her right there. Now, a Texas mother is facing charges after she allegedly locked her 12-year-old daughter out of the apartment, forcing her to sleep on a bench within the complex.
The girl went to Houston Police Department substation to report the incident shortly after 7 a.m. on Sunday. She told officers her mother kicked her out of the apartment on Saturday after they had an argument about one of her kids coming inside to hang out. Now, the girl tried to get back inside several times, but her mother refused to unlock the door. The child ended up sleeping on a bench at the apartment complex before waking up in the morning and going to the police substation. Cops went to the apartment complex at 7600 East Houston Road to investigate. They found the girl's mother, Georgette Albert, age 45, and interviewed her. Now, she claimed the girl had run away. After determining that wasn't true, police then arrested her on Monday on a charge of endangering a child. Police contacted Child Protective Services, who then took custody of the girl and released her to a family member. Thank God she's with family, because I hate when these children have to go to CPS, because very often that's no better than where they left. Okay, please pay attention. It's supposedly one of the biggest human trafficking organizations in this country. All right. Now, Albert went to the Harris County Jail where she has since posted a $5,000 bond. Her financial affidavit says that she's a part-time teacher in the Houston Independent School District. It said that she had worked there for about a year. Now, she's originally from Louisiana, according to documents. And the school system says that they basically said in an email that Albert is not a full-time teacher, but is a contract employee who works part-time for the district and is they're working on terminating that contract. Well, I hope they do. I mean, who wants somebody like this teaching their children, right? So according to her Facebook page, Albert is a singer-songwriter who goes by the moniker Get Black, and she spells black B-L-A-Q-U-E. Okay, she has a court date scheduled for October the 15th. Oh, son of fairy. So what is wrong with people? I still can't get over that man beating that poor child like that till the meat was off of his behind, and then making him continue to do push-ups and jumping jacks. Now, you know what that says to me? That says to me that he's some type of sociopath, because he didn't have any empathy, sympathy, or remorse. Now, you know that child had not only to be crying, but he had to be screaming and screeching in extreme, excruciating pain. But he still made him do push-ups and jumping jacks. Like, this is all sick and twisted, okay? This is very crazy at the end of the day. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. This is all so sad. Let me see what y'all say in the comments. POP says, I bet she got some understanding in jail. Prison, she is done. Queen Nina Star said it also says that none of her family was helping her with her son. Really? But now they want to act like they were so willing to help. What about the father? Did she even ask him? Okay, Jay Gray said he was definitely a sociopath. Yes, had to be. Claudette says horrible. Exact 2 says, these are the fools that are teaching our children. America, where we are in trouble for sure. Yes, we absolutely are, beloved. That's a fact. That is an absolute fact. Now let's talk about these thugs, these gang members who shot up this restaurant. Hold on, let me pull up their mugs. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance, beloveds. Here we go. So goes on to say, alleged gang members charged in shootings, that's plural with an S, shootings at restaurants in Harbortown, Whitehaven. So police say that 4 alleged members of the Young Mob gang have been indicted on numerous charges in 2 separate shootings at restaurants in Harbortown and Whitehaven. Now, one person, also identified by police as a suspect, was killed in the shooting that happened while people were eating outside Tug's Casual Grill on Harbortown Circle last year. Having shootouts. I want you all to think about this. Now, you all go out sometimes, I'm sure, for lunch or dinner, and sometimes even breakfast or brunch, just to have a little nice meal and sit there and enjoy yourselves. Imagine sitting there and having your little meal, and some fools show up on the scene and just start having a whole gunfight like they're at the OK Corral, bullets flying, and you have your children or grandchildren with you. Just think about that. Now, Brian Lackland, aka Stupid Duke, well, that name is fitting, age 34, was charged with attempted first-degree murder. Okay, employment of a firearm during the commission of a dangerous felony, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon. Paul Nielsen, 31, was charged with attempted first-degree murder, employment of a firearm during the commission of a dangerous felony, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon. This is a darn shame. Now, on Saturday, May 13th of 2023 at around 7:30 p.m., officers responded to an attempted robbery and shooting at Tugs. According to witnesses, the suspects pulled up, hopped out of the car, and started firing shots at someone sitting on the patio. Now, how many other people were sitting on the patio? I mean, if you have that much beef and angst and disdain for anyone, you can't wait till that person's by themselves at least, but you want to go up there where it's a bunch of people, okay, and just start shooting, knowing that bullets have no names on them. This is all crazy. Now, the MPD said the suspects fled the scene in a black Nissan Altima, and minutes later, individuals in the same black Nissan Altima dropped off Roderick Winston at a nearby fire station. Winston later died at the hospital. Well, too bad and so sad. You play stupid games, guess what? You win. Okay, you already know. Now, one person described at the time as both a witness and a victim, excuse me, was found when he fell through the ceiling where he was hiding in the restaurant. The Homicide Bureau and the Multi-Agency Gang Unit investigated the case together. Now, MPD said during the investigation, it was determined that young mob members, Brian Lackland and Paul Nelson, were the ones, in fact, responsible. Both men are now in custody. Police say that additional charges are expected, and Nelson is being held in the Shelby County Jail on a $1 million bond. Lackland's booking information is not available at this time, but police said 2 other alleged members of the young mob gang have been charged in the fatal shooting at McDonald's on East Shelby Drive in May of 22. That's when it happened. Now, Jasper Strickland was shot several times while inside a vehicle and pronounced dead at the hospital. Mohammed Samba, age 26, was charged with first-degree murder and attempted first-degree murder. Quentin Moss, age 32, was charged with first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. Police said Moss and Samba are in custody and additional charges are expected. Yeah, this is clearly nefarious. Okay, please pay attention. What is going on here? What is really going on? Nina Starr said he fell through the ceiling while hiding. Yeah, up there involved in the whole shootout and then hides in the ceiling. HR 40 said, when will we ever learn? Yeah, when will some of us? When will parents start doing their job and raising these thugs to be productive citizens who do have a respect and a care for life, not just their own, but others as well? When will that happen is all I'm saying. But you know what's funny to me? And we're going to talk about this at some point. Maybe I'll talk about this tomorrow on the main channel because this is a discussion for everybody, okay, to hear. When are we going to start holding people who look like us accountable for creating genocide in our own community, for depopulation of our own community? I mean, we talk about the global elite and we talk about other things that go on so nefariously, but when are we going to really hold these people accountable? Okay, because we get out there and march and protest most of the time only when it's the police killing unarmed Black people. But then when you have these thugs out here doing it, many people in our community want to be silent. They don't want to say anything. Oh, we can't be a snitch. Snitches get stitches, is what they say. They don't view themselves as concerned citizens if they report someone or they go and talk to the police and answer a few questions. But they consider themselves a snitch and they don't want to be that. So they just don't say anything. Yes, they're demon seeds. Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely, Samantha. With that all being said, we need to hold these people accountable. All right, that's what we need to do. You can't sit here and cover up for them. I don't care if they're your family members, your friends, whoever. You need to ask yourself, why are 30-plus-year-olds still out here running with gangs? How stupid are you? It's all I'm saying. You don't have a job that you need to be at. You don't have work to do. You're not trying to build generational wealth for your family. If you're not, then what the hell are you doing besides being a whole menace to society? We need to start shutting these people and calling them out for filth, just like we call out the police, okay, who take the lives of innocent Black folk. These people do the same thing. Where's the smoke for them? Because I think they absolutely deserve it, okay? I think they absolutely deserve it, all right? So with that all been said, HR 40 says, since they got guns. What if they got guns? And what's your point? I have guns too, don't you? We should all have guns to protect and defend ourselves. That's not going to keep me from telling on them if they do something like that. Thank God I don't live in that kind of neighborhood, but if I did, I would be the first one reporting it, okay? You're not going to have me living in fear, held captive by neighborhood terrorists. It's all crazy. Okay, this is all crazy. And here's the thing. Whether or not they carry guns, you can report these people anonymously. You don't have to give your name. You don't have to give your information or any of that. You can report them anonymously. And you don't even have to run your mouth and tell anybody else so nobody will know, okay? That's all I'm saying. And the police aren't going to tell on you because the police aren't even going to know who you are if you do it anonymously. There's a whole bunch of things you can do. But people want to make excuses. I'm not making excuses. These people need to get exactly what they deserve. Okay. HR 40 said, I don't own a gun, but I promise you everybody else around me does. Well, then you should get one. Why don't you own one, beloved? Do you not care to protect yourself, or can you not legally carry one? Whatever the case may be, at the end of the day, if you see something, do something. Okay. Report them to the police. If you see people out here just not having regard for human life and safety, what are you going to do if you don't say anything and one day it's you or your child or your loved one, an elder in your family? What are you going to say then? Okay, some of us just want to sit around and wait until it's knocking at our front door, and then we want everyone to give us all the sympathy and empathy that we didn't bother to give anyone else who looked like us. Please make it all make sense, okay? This is crazy, and it's got to stop. At the end of the day, we have to do something. If we don't, who will? All right? James Allen says, Queen speaking truth. Thank you, beloved, and I appreciate your kind contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings to you. All right? HR 40 said, you're the one reporting the news, not me. I'm just watching these goofies. Well, it sounds to me like you're the one that's goofy if you seem to think that you can't report someone because they're walking around with guns. It seems to me like you live in fear is all I'm saying. Okay, I refuse to live in fear, and none of us should be doing that. At the end of the day, like I said, there's no excuse other than cowardice, all right? And people not giving a damn as to why people who look like me don't report these thugs who are menaces to their society, their community, and who are out here having a reckless or no regard for human life and safety, who are taking out innocent people, specifically elders and young children in many of the cases, who cannot defend themselves, all right? That's just what it is, okay? So I'm sorry, but the truth is the truth. And yes, I am reporting the news. But what you should be doing, beloved, is if you know someone's doing something wrong in your neighborhood, you should be reporting that. Okay, if it's costing the detriment of someone else and possibly, potentially one day costing someone their lives. Because like I said, one day it could be you or someone you care about. All right, so with that all being said, likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you for tuning in once again. All right, I hope you all enjoyed the broadcast, and I will see you all at 6:15 on the spiritual channel, okay? With that all being said, Miss AP said, love you, Queen, and I love you right, Black, beloved, and thank you for your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings, okay? DSB said, that doesn't make you a snitch. It's called being responsible. Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what it's called. Okay, so with that all been said, I'll see you all at 6:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the spiritual channel for your spiritual vitamins today. I love you all to life. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives.
Hit 'em with that flavor. All in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got